Today I'm here with Thomas Amtage, one of the experts for tree protection from Germany, and I would like to ask you a few questions. Thomas, you've got quite an extensive experience in the area of vegetation care, and you started really from the ground as a practical gardener. Can you tell us about your start?
I have a really early contact with nature. I grew up in a small village, and that led me the feeling for the nature, and then I'm start for roughly 30 years as gardener, and then learning by the ground, digging in the soil, and learning in a company. This company makes a lot of tree care. So that was my first experience and step to the tree care company, and say, after 2 weeks I worked in this company, and say, that's what I want for the rest of my life, and that was my start. So.
How did you utilize that experience in your landscape architecture and arboricultural career?
That helps me a lot, because I think landscape architects are cross-planning. We have so many options, we have so many knowledge, we work with plants, trees, soil, water. My knowledge as landscape architect was based on start as gardener. So,
And can you tell us something more about your company at this moment?
We have a small company with nine colleagues. We are based in Berlin, but we worked in whole East, North Germany. So the main thing is tree assessment, tree protection, tree inventory. We made pulling tests and SOT, whatever. And that's the main thing that we do. So
And do you have had some very interesting project which you recently fulfilled?
We have a lot of change in his mind by the municipals for tree protection. So the municipals say, okay, we want to protect these trees. The street engineers and facility managers must ask us how we can protect the trees, and so we are cross-planning, and we work on the same level with other engineers. So we have a really good project in Brandenburg-Rathenow. It started for 6 years. Early on the draft, so the streets must be completely renewed, the pipes completely renewed, but we have really old beech trees on the streets, and so that was the goal, to renew the infrastructure, build new street, and by the same protect the beech for the next generation. So.
You are one of the main organizers of the Deutscher Baumpflegetage, one of the largest events in Europe. Can you tell something more about this activity?
I'm the chairman. I'm organized this one with my colleague Dirk. I think it's the biggest one in Europe. This year we have over 3,000 people to visit us. We have 3 parts: the lecture room, the climbing forum, and the trade show for this one. And it's a home of tree care. We have this year visitors for over 36 countries all the world. So that's really impressed. It is I'm deeply impressed every year if I see the tree care family comes together, speak together, discuss together, and for one goal, to protect and develop the trees. So that's the main thing.
And as an invitation for next year, what will be the leading topic?
We have some leading topics next year. The EAC is a partner from the German Tree Care Conference, and also we have every year discuss with new disease, what comes, tree planting, new methods in tree care. That we are on. Our goal is to put. We are on the pulse on the time. So that.
As a specialist in tree protection on development sites, what's the biggest misconceptions people have in this area?
The biggest is that most of the people think tree protection on construction site make more expensive. That's not true. That if we are really early in this project, the project wants more easier with lower cost. So that's the biggest mistake, I think so.
And you are now part of the development group for European Arboricultural standard in this area.
Yeah.
And you are part of the working group for German standard in this area as well. So can you compare these two approaches, or tell us something more what the new ideas it brings into the industry?
We are in German. We have DIN norm since over 40 years, and we have by the FLL regulations and guidelines. So then brings together with to the EAC, and we learn also what the colleagues from the other countries do in this country, and so that maybe is a goal. We learn from each other. That's the main thing.
And do you have had one particular moment which was surprise for you, maybe from these meetings, or some new idea which came to your practice from this discussion?
Not really new discussion, but I'm not surprised that, but I see it really well that we are all looking in one direction, and then sometimes some people looks on this way, but we are also a small range to go in the right direction. So, yeah.
Your role as a court expert for tree damage assessment must require a great deal of attention to detail.
Yeah.
What methods and what approaches do you use in the practice?
It's really important that you have time, and you need a second view. Not decide on the first view, so look twice and third, and then thinking, have time, and then decide. Yeah, that's the most important thing.
You are a highly active member of several committees and associations, including FLL and the Architects' Chambers. How do you balance involvement in these groups with your practice?
Yeah, that's knowledge is one. Really good time management. Thank you for my wife. That's one of the most important things. And I'm really grateful that I have so good colleagues in my office that support me. That without my colleagues support me, it's not possible to do this thing here.
Teaching and lecturing at seminars is quite a large part of your practice. What do you teach and what do you convey by these lectures mostly?
The most important thing of this one, I saw to new lecturers, I taught them, say authentic. That's the most thing. You have the knowledge, that's clearly you're a little bit nervous, it's also okay, but the most important thing, you must be authentic. Then everything is fine. Yeah.
And what area do you lecture on mostly?
Mostly at this time tree management in municipal and tree protection. Yeah, that's my goal. Yeah.
So you've got lots of students. If you advise your students entering the industry, where you orientate them?
Looks left and right. We are find your own way. So because we have a wide range with the work with tree. You can go to root protection. You can go to cabling bracing. Looks in different knowledge and different working groups, and then find your own way and say, okay, that's my point. That I love it. Yeah, I do this.
What's your favorite landscape or favorite maybe tree species?
Oh, my favorite tree species is lime tree. So
why?
Because it is. He can be 1,000 years old, that's one, and he has different shapes. You can plant it in landscape garden, you can plant it on an alley, on an avenue and streets, or a baroque garden, you can shrubing, so lime trees, and especially in the summer it smells really good. So yeah, I love the lime tree. Yeah.
You're pretty active at the Research Institute in Quedlinburg.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something more about this activity?
Oh yeah. Quedlinburg is a science station. It was established in the 1930s by Arboriculture, and really good colleague Axel Schneiderwind planted in the early 90s thousands of trees, and now it's the greatest or the largest tree testing field in Germany. So we made at the time around 10 experiments, planted pruning, new tree species, climate trees. So that's tested over a long period in this field, under scientific circumstances. Yeah.
And do you organize any visits of this site?
We can organize it. You can ask the scientific station. You can ask Diana Gansert, and then you feel free to visit, to come to us, and then we guide you.
You've got quite a large experience in communicating with people and with tree managers and tree owners. Where do you feel this practice needs to change in the situation of climate change?
The climate change is worse, but in the communication it helps us, definitely. Many people know, okay, we have a problem, we need the green, we need every green in the city, in the village, and then, okay, we have no knowledge, we must ask a tree expert, we must ask the landscape architects who manage the green, who protect the green, who develop new green, planted new trees, that we are established the trees not for 20 years, or more 80 or 100 years in the street. So yeah, and I think it changes by the people. Young people have more thinking for the climate when older people say, okay, doesn't care about me. Yeah.
You mentioned the climate trees or climate tree species. Yeah. What is your, let's say, proposal or your idea about tree species which we will be planting in the changed climate?
That's a really good question. If I have a seminar or whatever, what's a climate tree? Every tree is a climate tree. We don't know what's happened in 10 years, what's a new disease or whatever. Plant the trees, plant the different trees, not thousands of oaks in one street or thousands of ash or acer. Mix it. That's my advice, and then test it and plant it in a good planting room. So not in a small hole. You need a big planting hole. So that's the most important thing to know. And then every tree grows up. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.